What is your New Year's resolution? Here's the bad news. New Year's resolutions only work 9% of the time. Many reasons for that. We're going to break them all down for you, and then we're going to give you some suggestions on how to make it better. If you want to get some bite-sized versions of what you can do to actually change things in your life, go to my Instagram series called #ChangeTober, where I broke down 31 different things that you can do over the course of 31 days and do some habit stacking and actually change real things in your life. So the problem with New Year's resolutions is that they come without steps, without structure, without accountability. When I coach, I build all those things in because it's a combination of knowledge, a workable, personalized structure, and accountability to someone or something greater than yourself. And we're going to go to the self part pretty quickly here, because if we don't believe in ourselves, how are people going to follow us? They are going to see we're not congruent with what we're talking about or teaching or preaching. And it becomes increasingly difficult over time to bamboozle a section of the populace for very long. And I would argue that the last couple of years, the last cycle, let's call it since COVID and just before COVID, where we are just bombarded with information 24/7. And if you are in an echo chamber, you're just getting bombarded with the information you already believe or want to hear. So it reinforces that viewpoint and does not encourage you to change, to see another's viewpoint, to see a better way of doing things, which is not the opportune way that you want to go about this. So let's start by committing to something we can do. Can we commit to some form of exercise for our brain and our body every day? Instead of watching that extra episode of Netflix, perhaps there is something that you were truly interested in today that you can go to Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever your flavored search site is, and take a deeper dive and learn something. Could you possibly make time in your schedule to stop by the library on your way home from work or school and take a deep dive, to read a paragraph in a book to see if it's worthy of your time? If it is, take that book home and commit to reading a book in 10 days. Seems like a fair amount of time. Some books, my ebooks, for example, you can probably read in 10 minutes and then take about an hour to start incorporating them into your life. So other books, 100 pages, 200 pages. It's really unusual to see anything that is not autobiographical in nature or covers a long period of time, such as a war or something like that, being more than 500, 600, 700 pages at this point. And we need to build our brains back up into reading to that level. So let's start small. Let's start with those chiclets. Let's start with some articles on the internet. Let's start with some ebooks. Let's start with some podcasts. Let's start with some YouTubes on a subject that you are interested in, and exercise the brain, exercising the body. It can be as simple as taking a walk every day, committing to it. Even on a cold day, perhaps there is a office building that's open, a mall that's open, somewhere where you can walk around. Give yourself, first day, 10 minutes, nothing major. Build yourself up to 15, 20 minutes. Then you can decide how you want to take your exercise program further. Not even willing to commit to 10 minutes of walking, buy yourself a pair of sneakers. Start there. Put the sneakers on. Wear them somewhere tomorrow. Maybe you'll just take that walk. So we're exercising our brain and our body. Here's a bigger one for you. What are you doing about your sleep hygiene? We are horrible with our sleep. There are 100 reasons. You can Google the top 10 reasons of why we're bad with our sleep, and the top 10 things that you're supposed to do before you want to go to sleep. If that's too much trouble for you, I'm going to put a link in the information box or in the comments, depending on how you are consuming this, with a YouTube on my subconscious/consciousness around sleeping, and the top 3 tips that you can do to get to sleep faster and to wake up better engaged with your body and your mind. Because isn't that why we want to go to sleep earlier? Isn't there a reason? Don't we want to start that next day so that we have a little bit of time? And when I say a little bit of time, I encourage people to get up 10 minutes earlier and do something to nurture your brain, to nurture your body. You can stretch, you can meditate, you can read, you can take 5 minutes for yourself before you check your emails and notifications. Isn't that a great goal? I call that the first great decision of the day. So if you can make that first great decision of the day, it does start the night before, by getting to bed, by having a structure, by having some accountability to yourself to do that. Because what's your alternative? If you're not getting up on time, if you're hitting snooze, does that really ever work out for you? Aren't you giving up something? Aren't you rushing through a shower? Aren't you skipping a good breakfast? Aren't you irritable with the first person or people that you talk to that next day because you're already on this adrenaline rush because you're getting up late? It seems like an easy place to commit to for a resolution, but you have to put it in with the structure. Check out my YouTube, do a little research on the internet, go to the library, read a chapter in a book, and start practicing it. And I say practice because these are deep-held beliefs that we should somehow be entitled to that next Netflix episode or whatever other thing that you do to convince yourself that staying up that extra half an hour or an hour isn't going to bother you the next day, because we already broke that down. But we feel entitled. And maybe we grew up in a household where our parents watched a lot of late night TV because that was their time together. So we were trying to get to sleep and we felt left out. So we grew up and we decided that that's what adults do. They stay up late at night and watch TV, and it's good, whether it's good or not, because we felt deprived. Acknowledge that. Let it go. Journal it. Write it on a piece of paper. Tear it up. Burn it. You can change your behaviors. This is what a resolution is. We can do so many things to improve our lives if we really want to. So I call this manifesting your affirmations, and it will change your life. It's part of my Success Syndrome Catalyst coaching. You can get into my world for $5. That's a different video. Not going to be preaching that here. Not going to drop a link. You're going to have to look for that link, because I want people to come into my world who want to be here, who want to change, because you are great clients. We have all sorts of ways for you to improve your life one habit at a time. So it's habit stacking, so that you can feel that pride in yourself that other people will be able to see. This shows everyone we have character. And when we present ourselves truthfully and with character, other people have to acknowledge it. Of good character. People, good recognizes good. When you walk in a room, when you feel great about yourself, when you have done good things for yourself and your body for a period of a week, a month, or even longer because it's your habit now, other people will recognize your energy and you will start attracting better people into your lives. It's part of a book that I promote and teach from called The Go-Giver by Bob Berg. And I'm a huge fan of that. The other book I'm going to recommend today is Principles Centered Leadership by Stephen Covey. He's pretty famous for a different book, but Principle Centered Leadership is about having the character and attracting people just by doing the right things for yourself. Because the secret, here's your secret, in order to give more to other people, you have to be able to receive goodness from others as well. You have to be open to receiving. How many times in life has someone tried to give us good advice and we were either too proud or too much in denial to accept it? If good people are offering you good advice, recognize it and recognize that it's there for a reason and receive it and see if it can help you. That's what I try to do. I'm here to help you. So, I don't have too much more for you today, but I did want to give you a longer breakdown of New Year's resolutions because this is the week where everyone's going to go, what's your New Year's resolution? And it's like, have something that works. Have a plan. Have some accountability. Those are the resolutions that will serve you well. I'm Coach Ron. I help people every day on the internet and 6 days a week in my private practice. Have a great day and a Happy New Year.